Are you a bounty hunting blonde traveling across the galaxy? Well, most people didn't even realize that you were a woman until Super Smash Bros. Brawl came out. Yeah, neither did I. I was like 7 or something. Actually, wait, when did Brawl come out? I'm curious. 15 years ago? We start our journey on planet K-2L, a similar planet based on our Earth. And according to the Galactic Federation, which for future reference is pretty much space police, it carries a rare mineral known as a fluorite. A fluorite is used to power all sorts of space vehicles and vessels that the Galactic Federation uses. When all of a sudden, a race of ancient bird people called the Chozo arrive requesting some of fluorite like it's a cup of sugar from their neighbors. The Chozo have their own reason as to gather as much of fluorite as possible, but we'll get to that reason a little bit later. For now, we are introduced to one of the Chozo named Oldbird. Oldbird makes friends with a young girl known as Samus Aran, quickly showing that appearances do not make one's character and all can become friends. Unfortunately, upon being rejected to fluorite, they left the planet seeking out other power sources to ruffle their feathers with. But not without ruffling the scales of one of the galaxy's biggest threats, the Space Pirates. And this Space Pirate group was led by none other than Captain Ridley. Ridley's crew attacks the planet with the goal of gathering as much of fluorite as possible, along with killing all those who interfere. This is when our main character Samus, at 3 years old, first meets the monster and tries to make friends with Ridley, just like Oldbird had taught her, but is almost killed by the pirate, if not for her mother saving her life last second, as her dad snuck onto one of the pirate's ships and blew up a large amount of fluorite, killing the space pirates and Ridley along with it. Moments later, the same Chozo, Oldbird, and his equation's Grey Voice arrive on the planet after hearing a stress call before the attack. They lament that if not for their arrival on the planet trying to seek out fluorite, they would not have alerted the space pirates and caused so much death and destruction. However, among all this death and destruction, there is one survivor, and that is Samus. They take Samus back to the home planet of the Chozo, known as Zebes. But the environment of Zebes isn't one a human like Samus can survive for long. So in order to increase her survivability, they infuse Samus with Chozo DNA, making her physically enhanced and able to wield the Chozo's main form of weaponry, the power suit. As the old saying goes, birds of a feather adopt a human child to give her bird DNA and a weapon of mass destruction. Together. This is also where we get to meet Mother Brain, an AI made by the Chozo in order to outlive them with the same goal of trying to restore peace to the entire galaxy. We time skip to over 11 years and Samus, now master of the power suit, becomes a part of the Galactic Federation, protecting the galaxy from space pirates when all of a sudden there is a distress call from Zebes, the same planet she was raised on. While on the planet, it's assumed that all the Chozo are gone and Samus was too late. But not too late to see that her pet bunny Pyonchi is still alive. Yay, Pyonchi! Pyonchi leads them to a message left by Oldbird, who claims that Samus must be the new protector of the universe, along with news that in secret, the Chozo were developing a terrifying organism known as Metroid, which could absorb energy and the life force of whatever it grabs onto, becoming a threat to the galaxy now that it's likely out of containment. With this news, Samus embarks further to try and prevent more deaths on Zebes, only to find out that Grey Voice and Mother Brain are alive and are seemingly in control of the space pirates, as Mother Brain's AI has changed from one of peace through actions into peace through violence. As Mother Brain now stands at the top of the space pirate food pyramid, she also gives command to Ridley, who attacks Samus before she can injure Mother Brain. Filled with trauma from her childhood, Samus starts to have actual PTSD and panic attacks at the near sight of Ridley. Ridley furthers his pain by explaining that he survived the explosion by eating the flesh of humans from her colony, and also likely had to eat Samus's mom to survive and regenerate. Now this would be the perfect opportunity for me to put in a sponsorship like HelloFresh or Factor in this video, but I'm not sponsored by them right now because I am too baby small of a channel. So instead, I'm going to use this opportunity for a great joke to ask you to subscribe. Yeah, I hated doing that too, we're moving on. Samus cannot fight in this state and becomes a prisoner of Zebes, along with the flock of surviving Chozo. Did I forget to mention that Samus actually has like friends in the manga? Well, thankfully for her friends, they blow up the underground base, save all of the Chozo, and give Samus a much needed therapy session. Years pass after the events on Zebes, and Samus becomes a fully fledged bounty hunter. No longer being part of the Galactic Federation, she roams the galaxy until once again there is a distress call from Zebes. See, the Federation had not completely destroyed the threat of Mother Brain on Zebes, and now Mother Brain had completely changed Zebes into a battlefield. And now that her and the space pirates have Metroids on their side, they now pose an even greater threat to the galaxy that Samus must protect. And that's how the manga story ends, and how we end up transitioning into the first game in the Metroid timeline, Metroid Zero Mission. See, Zero Mission is actually a remake of the original Metroid, which clears up the story and actually adds on to it. So in case you're wondering why we're not going to talk about the original Metroid, this is why. Samus calmly arrives on Zebes and proceeds to kill everything in sight. Kraid is exploding, Ridley is exploding, Mother Brain is exploding, Samus' ship is exploding. Wait, what? See, the reason why this game is called Metroid Zero Mission is because after you would have beaten the original Metroid, Samus normally just flies off the ship from planet Zebes. However, in Zero Mission, Samus' ship actually gets attacked, forcing her to crash land back on the planet and losing her power suit, now making her Zero Suit Samus. Get it because it's in the name? With Samus' only form of defense being a stun pistol, she now has to find a new way off the planet, thankfully noticing a space pirate mothership next door, which she sneaks in, but not without noticing a new presence on board. After playing a lot of Metal Gear Metroid, Samus finds herself in the Chozo ruins, and later, the ancient city of Chozodia. His name is so stupid. With Samus now in Chozodia, she can now take the ruins test, which upon completion gives her a new fully powered suit, to which she then uses to cause utter chaos and destruction once again, blowing up Mecha Ridley in the process, which was the original security system on the mothership that first notices Samus' presence. She can now use an escape pod to escape the planet, ending Metroid Zero Mission. We now have to talk about the Prime series. While technically a side plot from the main games, I still want to respect the Metroid Prime trilogy, as it did give us a lot of information about Metroids as well as the space pirates, but most importantly, it talks about what Phazon is. Phazon can be pretty much summed up as Space Scoop. As for what the Space Scoop does, it does a lot. Thankfully, I have a professional on set who can better explain this for you and in a much more formal fashion. Let me go get him. Hi there. My name is Dr. Sun. Have you or a loved one been in contact with Space Scoop recently? Then you may be dealing with the following side effects: rapid mutations, manipulation of all bodily functions, replication of all your DNA and memories, hunger for more Space Scoop, and death. If any of these problems persist, please contact your local bounty hunter to take care of the issue, as well as blow up the planet producing all sorts of Space Scoop. For more information, please wait until Metroid Prime 4 comes out. That game's not coming out. I'm not even a real doctor. With Samus successfully flushing the rest of the Space Scoop down the intergalactic drain, she gets a distress call from the Galactic Federation claiming that they found the home planet of the Metroid on planet SR-388, and they need Samus to exterminate all the Metroid as they are rapidly both replicating and evolving. Hold it! Do you remember what I said about 46 seconds into the video? The Chozo have their own reason as to gather as much of Florita as possible, but we'll get to that reason a little bit later. Well, later is now, because they're all about to die and become space gushers. See, the Chozo, yes, the ancient race of bird people Chozo, created the Metroids. As to why this peace-loving species of bird people wanted to create this thing in the first place, it becomes a little more complicated than that. Throughout their journey through the galaxy, the Chozo went through many technological innovations, such as creating the power suit. But while searching through the galaxy, on planet SR-388, they found an organism that posed an even greater threat to the galaxy compared to anything we've ever seen before, and not even their technology could compare with it. So the only way they thought to counter this organism was with an organism of their own, thus creating the bioweapon we now know of Metroids. Probably not the best basket to put all of their eggs in. Do Chozo lay eggs? This is the same reason why the Chozo went to Samus' home planet in the first place, as a Floritite is a great power source to try and replicate and create more Metroids. Now that it all somehow makes sense, let's go see what Samus is up to. Oh! I sure hope there aren't any babies in the crowd right now, because I don't think anything will want to witness this amount of devastation and destruction of its own kind. Oh hey, look, a baby Metroid! Oh, it's adorable! And it's imprinted on Samus! Oh, she's gonna make such a good mom. She's gonna take care of it, feed it snacks, read it bedtime stories, protect it from Ridley, who right now is a cyborg trying to steal it. Yeah, this is another Prime thing. Regardless as to why and how Ridley's here in the first place, Samus proceeds to knock Ridley out and take the baby Metroid back to the Galactic Federation science team as to do research on it. And thanks to Samus, the last Metroid is in captivity and the galaxy is at peace. Until Ridley comes in and takes the baby for realsies back to planet Zebes of all places, which now takes us to Super Metroid. Ridley is taking the baby Metroid back to Zebes of all places, as thanks to all the Chozo technology, the space pirates can now replicate and duplicate a bunch of different Metroids to take over the galaxy. And Samus, isn't exactly happy with Ridley taking her adopted baby, so she calmly arrives on Zebes, and you can say it with me this time, kills everything in sight. Kratos is exploding again. Ridley is exploding again. And this time he actually doesn't have any robot parts, which I'm just assuming he ate more things to regenerate, so he's still exploding. After defeating Ridley, Samus notices that the baby isn't with him anymore, and it actually seems to have left its container. After a little bit of searching, we find that the baby Metroid is now a big baby Metroid because of all of the radiation and space protein. The big baby Metroid almost kills Samus, but thankfully realizes in its protein-filled rage that it was actually hurting its mama and flees from embarrassment because its gains were too much for Samus to handle at the moment. Samus continues her rampage on Zebes until she encounters Mother Brain, who was rebuilt from the space pirates and using the Chozo technology is now stronger than ever before. But not strong enough for our expert bounty hunter. I see Mother Brain has been hitting the gym. With the big baby Metroid taking all of Mother Brain's gains and giving it to Samus, Samus was now on Mega Jacked mode. And Mother Brain kills the baby in a proteinless rage. And now the planet's exploding. Run! Save the animals first. Yay! With the explosion of Zebes and all Metroids gone from existence, Samus has completed her mission from Super Metroid. Oh, we have to talk about Other M now. Metroid Other M. This game certainly did some damage. The events that take place in Other M are canon to the later story of Fusion and Dread, but the story itself is really messy in a lot of places, especially around Samus' backstory. So I'm only going to be talking about the parts that impact the future timeline, like I said in Fusion and Dread, and I'm not going to be talking about the weird bits that Reddit doesn't want me to talk about, because when I brought it up on Reddit, I got yelled at, but again, that doesn't really matter. Just nod your head if you agree with me. Okay, good, we're moving on now. To start us off, Metroids are back. How, you may ask? Cloning cells from Samus' suit, and Ridley is back. How and also why? Cloning cells from Samus' suit. And because he's adorable. I mean, look at him. He's just a little marshmallow marketable plushie thing. I don't know. I mean, like, I just want to give him a snack. Like, do you want a snack, little guy? Oh my god. Any hoozles, Samus' commanding officer, Adam Malkovich, who's only really relevant right now of all things, realizes that reviving both of these intergalactic threats isn't exactly the best idea, so he sacrifices himself to take care of the Metroids, while Samus is left to take care of the Metroid Queen, exterminating Metroids from the galaxy once again for realsies this time. For realsies this time. After recreating and reviving every threat to the universe possible, the Galactic Federation's research team thinks it's a great idea to go back to planet SR-388 with Samus as a bodyguard to explore a Metroidless planet. What the heck is that? Oh god, it went inside Samus. I'm sure this is fine, right? Oh no, it's not fine. This is where we meet our newest enemy and threat to the galaxy, the X-Parasite. Yes, it did take me 4 pages to get to the X-Parasite, and yes, they were introduced in the first couple pages of the manga, but guess what? Pacing exists, and I don't want to spoil everything. The X-Parasite is the native top predator of planet SR388. It has the ability to duplicate and assimilate itself with whatever it comes into contact with, gaining all memories the host has, as well as all physical characteristics and whatever non-sentient technology it has available. Now you may be asking yourself, this X-Parasite sounds insane. Is there anything in the galaxy to stop them? And to that I actually have an answer. It's Metroids. Now you may be also asking, what happened to the Metroids? In hindsight, maybe not the smartest idea, and if you remember, the Metroids were made by the Chozo as their original purpose was to kill the X-Parasite, and now that they're all gone, the X-Parasite can ravage the galaxy as it will continue to multiply and persist due to its immense power and growth potential. All of this would be happening if Samus did not survive, however. Remember Other M? I know you don't want to, but work with me here for a moment. It's because of what they did in that game to that baby Metroid that they were able to create a vial of Metroid DNA, and upon giving it to Samus, the X-Parasite that almost tried to kill her actually suffered at the hands of the Metroid DNA. With Samus now being part Metroid of all things, she now stands as the one threat to the X-Parasite. After waking up, Samus learns about an explosion that occurred at the BSL after her suit with the X-Parasite inside was delivered to the lab. Now having to see what the heck is going on there, Samus flies in with a new computer system overlooking her mission, which reminds her of someone. Upon traveling throughout this strangely quiet station, Samus encounters herself? Oh no. It appears to be the X-Parasite has taken enough of Samus's DNA and had enough of the power suit pieces extracted to create a carbon copy of Samus and her suit at full power. This amalgamation was given the name SA-X, and in order to not get flagged by YouTube, I'm going to be referring to it as Saxophone Samus. Cool? Cool. The original Samus has to run and hide, as she cannot fight it, which means we're back to playing Metal Gear Metroid, Saxophone Eater. While Samus gains back her abilities and explores the station some more, she finds out that there is a restricted laboratory, which upon further inspection, has more Metroid in it. Are you kidding me? This is the third time the Metroids have been extinct and then brought back to life. Why do they keep reviving these things? That makes a lot of sense. While in the laboratory, Saxophone comes by and due to sick riff from Baker Street, they try and kill the Metroids, which kinda worked out as part of the research station ends up coming apart and crashing back into the planet exploding, but hey, Samus survived, so we're all good. Oh yeah, they could duplicate. Run. After escaping the jazz band, Samus consults her computer system, being angry at the idea of more Metroids being created without her knowledge. The computer smacks talk back to Samus, and that's when it clicked. The computer reminds her exactly like her last commanding officer, Adam. How nice is it that after death, Adam becomes a computer of all things, always going to be there to aid Samus on her adventures. Do you think Samus can play solitaire on him? Finally, after beating the saxophones one by one, and a Ridley clone, again, Other M caused this, Samus and Adam try to redirect the station to crash into the planet, exploding it and getting rid of the threat of the X-Parasite. Before they escape, however, an Omega Metroid blocks their path. With no way to beat it, it seems that Samus' journey ends here. But wait, what's this? One of the saxophones survived and tries to kill the Metroid. And they failed. But hey, they let Samus get the ice power up and kill the Metroid herself, letting her, Adam, and the animals, I don't know why they're here, escape. With the explosion of planet SR388, the threat of both Metroids and the X-Parasite are no more. 1 second, I'm getting a transmission. Let me just see this real fast. Son of a bird! People are back. Because we're talking about Dread now. In Metroid Dread, the game starts off with the Galactic Federation receiving video footage of an X-Parasite on a planet known as ZDR. The Galactic Federation sends their own androids, known as the Emmy, to take a look and extract the X-Parasite. Upon not reporting back, they send Samus, knowing that she's the only one who can fight back against the X-Parasite. Soon after landing, Samus finds herself in combat with a Chozo warrior. And I thought the Chozo were a race of peaceful birds. Why is this one trying to kill Samus? I guess birds of a feather sometimes don't stick together. Samus lost the fight, by the way. Samus wakes up with her suit upgrades seemingly gone, as Adam states that Samus went under a physical amnesia. I don't even have a joke for this one. Samus now has to fight her way through the planet as the Emmy seem to have gone rogue and are now fighting back against Samus, which means we're back to playing Metal Gear Metroid, Emmy Enemy. After getting back some power-ups, Samus meets up with the Chozo known as Quiet Robe of the Toha tribe. Quiet Robe tells Samus about the first Chozo she met on the planet being known as Ravenbeak of the Makin tribe. This is when we learn about the difference between a Toha Chozo and a Makin Chozo. See, the Toha are the peace-loving techno wizards that control Metroid, and the Makin are the competitive warrior tribe. And when I mean competitive, I'm talking no items, 1v1, Fox only, final destination, melee competitive. Yeah, it's ruthless. Ravenbeak is also the one who sent the X-Parasite footage to bring Samus to ZDR in the first place, as upon hearing that all Metroid were exterminated, he now plans to use Samus's Metroid DNA to make a whole new batch of Metroids to command under his army, which is also why he threatened Quiet Robe to hack the Emmys so that they can try to extract the Metroid DNA from Samus, which are now active again thanks to a robot soldier killing Quiet Robe and the X-Parasite taking over his body. While Samus defeats more Emmy and also Kraid, which, again, Samus's body seems to be developing a new power to absorb energy through contact. I'm sure that's normal, of course. I mean, even Adam is trying to state that Samus is slowly turning into a Metroid, which makes no sense to me as I know she has Metroid DNA in her, but I can never see that coming. And sometimes I feel like when we're talking to Adam in the game, he's not even really himself. Ravenbeak was pretending to be Adam. Can a computer sue for identity theft? After an awesome final battle where Ravenbeak grows wings in the middle of the fight, he grabs Samus by the throat and reveals that when Samus got her Chozo DNA as a child, she got DNA from both a Toha and a Makin, with Grey Voice being the Toha donor and the Makin donor was none other than Ravenbeak, which, by the way, when the Toha were making Metroids, they engineered them to have a distinct hate for the Makin, which is the main reason why Samus's new power has been acting up as her Metroid DNA is going crazy at the near sight of Ravenbeak. With Samus passing out, Ravenbeak claims that he no longer needs Metroid DNA, as he now plans to clone an army of the most powerful Metroid of all, Samus Aran. That was awesome! Samus's Metroid DNA has fully awakened at this point, causing her suit to morph into that representing a Metroid. Seeing that Ravenbeak also survived the crash, an X-Parasite combines with him, and go figure, it's an X-Parasite that took some of Kraid's DNA. Samus then unleashes a Hyper Death Beam of Death, destroying Ravenbeak and the X-Parasite attached. All's well that ends well, I guess. When Samus arrives at her ship, Adam warns her that if she tries to take off, she'll drain the ship of its energy. When all of a sudden, Quiet Robe X comes in. The parasite sacrifices itself to give Samus Toha DNA to control her Metroid powers and leave planet ZDR, while it explodes in the background, ending the Metroid timeline as of right now. Now you may be asking yourself, why would the X-Parasite choose to help Samus when it was the same one that reactivated the Emmys that were trying to kill Samus? And also the X-Parasite hate Metroids. Well, there are many possible answers. I think the most accurate one is that because of Quiet Robe's intelligence and memories, it was able to think for itself and give Samus the required Toha DNA to suppress the Metroid transformation. I imagine that we'll find the answer out either in the next game or when Prime 4 decides to come out. And on that note actually, Dr. Sun left me a voicemail telling me that he has news about Prime 4's release date. You really thought Prime 4 is gonna come out? You're so...
This isn't even a phone, it's a calculator.